Welcome to the actual universe. You may find it's different from our homeland. Should you be able to adapt to the laws of physics in a short time, I am your advisor and will help you through this mission.
What is up, the world? Don't worry, it'll be fine. Awesome sauce.
Everything
That'll
here
do, pig.
is yours.
Maybe we should
As
get the
one of
bulldozer.
And the pioneer
Hi
of the Dyson
guys,
Sphere
Squirrel
Program,
here.
you will
Okay,
explore this
no it's
cluster
not. It's
step
none
by
of
step.
those. It's none of those
By using the
YouTubers
resources here to
or
construct the Dyson
streamers.
Sphere
This
to
is
provide
me,
energy
See
for
Waddy,
the
playing
center
this
brain
game.
to maintain homeland,
And I
starting from
don't
scratch. I have
pretend
chosen a designated
or
planet for you to
profess
start
to
the
be
mission,
an expert
which
at
has
these type of
necessary
games.
resources for initial
I
development.
really,
Now please drive the
rarely
space capsule to
know
the
what I'm
planet.
doing in these types of games. But I'm going to play it and I'm going to have a bit of fun. I'm going to have a bit of a flyabout with my little rocket ship before I land on whatever planet I'm supposed to land on. And then we're going to get to work doing some building stuff and things. And yes, Catherine of Sky, I have noticed in your latest videos you're using stuff and things
Now you are about to
as a bit of a
reach the
catchphrase,
designated
which is
planet.
not allowed. Your catchphrase is, it'll be fine. You've already claimed that one. Do not claim stuff and things. If anything, stuff and things belongs to Slipgator. Okay? He was the guy that first used the stuff and things way back when he was doing his ARC videos many years ago. So please, don't steal other YouTubers' catchphrases and trademarks.
This
Okay.
is Icarus, a lightweight industrial mecha with powerful functionality. You
No,
can
that
use
is
the
not
arrow
Icarus.
keys
That
or
is
right-click
Bumblebee,
on
the
destination
Transformer.
to control its movement. In this mission, you will manipulate Icarus to travel beyond the stars and create miracles.
I'm going to recycle this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna dig this
You
up.
can use the same operation to collect resources, such as trees, gravel, etc. In the meantime, hold down Shift and right-click to give a series of commands.
Hold down
You
shift.
receive several items after recycling the space capsule. Click the inventory button in the lower right corner of the screen to open the cabin to view them.
We've got an inventory button, which should be E. Yeah, go look. So, yes, if you don't know what this game is pretty much one of your you build them up, build a
You can hold down mouse middle button drag to rotate the
system
angle of
type
view,
games.
or slide the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
Okay, and your objective is to build a Dyson Sphere, which is basically to build a fantastic energy harvesting system around a sun to provide all the power needs for your amazing civilization that has now gone off into space. Okay, and obviously we get these nice little videos. The one thing I am quite pleased about with this game, from what I've played of it so far, despite the fact it's an early access game made by a small team of developers, I think there's only 5 people in the development team that make this game.
Yet you have not unlocked the construction menu, which will be done automatically when complete any technology research. Click the technology tree button at the bottom right of the screen to open the technology tree and
will do
activate
that.
a research.
Let me first clear out some of these stones though. So we need to activate a research. So obviously we go into the technology tree and we've got all this wonderful stuff which we have to eventually research and unlock to help us achieve our goal of being able to build the Dyson Sphere. We also have a lovely upgrade tree, an upgrade system with some upgrade paths where we could upgrade different parts of our mech, and then also upgrade parts of our infrastructure and our buildings and stuff when we get into it, get a bit further along. I think, how do I get out of this menu? Hit the escape key. Right, so here's our planet. You can rotate around by holding the middle mouse button. That moves the camera. Obviously, right-clicking does the whole moving the robot. Scrolling the wheel zooms in and out. Click the planet icon, you can see the planet. If you hit the N key,
mode, you can hold down the middle
it puts
mouse
the North
button
Pole
drag,
at the top,
rotate the
South
angle
Pole
of view,
at the bottom.
and
Very
hold
good
down the
if
right
you get
mouse
a
button.
bit confused
Drag
as to
to
the
roll the angle of
orientation
view.
of your planet.
Press N key to point to the front to the North Pole.
You can see all your different resources on the planet.
In the
So
planet
we've
view
got
mode, slide the
stone
mouse
there,
wheel
we've
to
got
enter
stone
the star
there,
map
we've
mode.
got iron there, we've got iron there, we've got some copper there, we've got coal, we've got a bunch of different things. Iron looks a little bit light on copper, I have to say, unless there's some hidden somewhere else on this planet. Oh, there's a few more nodes of copper around here. I mean, ultimately, what we've got to do, we're going to have to get a lot of this stuff harvested. Okay. So, we need to research a technology. So, the first technology we need to research is electromagnetism, which is going to unlock wind turbines, Tesla towers for transmitting the power generated by the wind turbines, and the miners, which obviously is going to speed up the mining of resources. Now we need to complete this research, we need to make some magnetic coils, which require 2 magnets and 1 copper plate. Now obviously to get that, we are going to need to do some harvesting. So I'm going to get some iron ore very, very quickly. Now my little mech's going to probably run out of power in a bit, as you can see from the bottom bar on the screen. So we need to find, where's the copper? Okay, we need to find some copper. Here's some copper. 13 veins of copper. Let's go and harvest some of this stuff. Night is falling. Day-night cycle is in effect in this game. It's one of the things I do hope the developers give us access to very early in the game's development, an option to disable the night. Primarily for those of us who stream and do videos, any games with a night mode tend not to work very well for streamers and video creators because of how compression and encoding by YouTube and Twitch and different software tends to make the black dark night scenes even blacker and darker, which makes it hard for people viewing the videos to see what's going on. Right, we need to craft some stuff, so we need to make a bunch of these. So we need 10. Now these are produced in duplicates of 2s, so we only need to make 5 of these. And our little robot will craft them in his own little person, on his personage. Which is great stuff, because it saves me having to go and dig it all up myself. Now, at the moment, I'm obviously just gathering up some resources by hand. We don't need to do this later on. We have unlocked the electromagnetism, which means we have unlocked a Tesla tower, a wind turbine, a Tesla tower, and a mining facility. The wind turbine generates 3 kilowatts of power, and it supplies an area 7.2 meters in diameter. Okie dokie. So what that means...
You have created a mining machine to achieve ore collecting automation. Pick it up from the inventory, or select it on Gathering of Construction menu to build it.
I will do. The one thing I want to do is obviously I need to make sure. Let's put some logs in my fuel mech system. Your mech will recharge itself if you just stand still and don't do anything. What I need to find is I need to try and find. There's coal off to my right. So if we go south from the view that I'm looking at. Let me turn on. I don't have the grid. Do I have the grid system turned on? Should have. Right, there should be coal down here somewhere. There it is. Right, I'm gonna set up my lovely little miner, which we've got one. We've been given one by the.
You can use the R key to rotate the mining machine for covering more veins. The more veins covered, the faster the ores will be gathered. If you want to ignore grid snapping, try holding down the shift key.
Try holding down the shift key. Yes. Shift key does. If you hold down the shift key, you are free to rotate the. That is going to harvest. I know that's not getting all of the stuff and things. That's probably very bad of me. But we can build other miners later on, which will do a much better job.
One of your production facilities is not powered. You need to keep it within the power coverage area and supply it with power facilities in order to maintain its normal works.
There we go. Normal works have been established.
Wind turbine. You have established your first power grid. Not all power facilities has its power supply area. Use the Tesla Tower to extend the area of the power grid.
Tesla Tower. See, I like the fact there is a tutorial which will guide you through the game the first time you're playing. However, there is a little bit of an issue with the tutorial in the fact that it plays every single time you play the game. Which means once you've played the game and know what you're doing, it can get a little bit annoying having the tooltips popping up. But the fact that you've always got this little guidebook that you can refer to is great. Because again, for somebody who doesn't know how to play the game, or you maybe have played, even if you've played the game for a while, you might forget something. You might just have a temporarily blip in your brain and you forget how to do something. Just open up the guidebook and you can look up. You'll be able to look up and read up and find the information that you need, which will be obviously very useful later on. Right, my mech has run out of stuff again, so let's put some logs in the power. Right, one of the things we need to do then, we need to research the next bit of mining process. We can do upgrades. Again, veins utilization. I think it wants us to do, probably the first thing it's probably going to want me to do is mecha core energy. But I have different ideas, like I say. Not going to follow the tutorial scripting off the bat because I've done it once. What I want to get straight away is I want to get into some conveyor belts, sorters, and storage boxes, because one of the things I aim to do on this playthrough or in this save is use buildings a lot more. Okay, so we're going to need to get some iron and some stuff, unless I've already got some, which I may possibly have. So if I open up my fabricator, okay, that makes 1 gear, so we are going to need 10 of those. And then for circuits, we're going to need, that makes 2 circuits, so we're only going to need 5 of those. Right, we should then be able to research our researchy search. So at the moment, as you can see, we've got resources all over the place on this map. We've got a lot of resources. We've got stone veins over here. Stone veins. This is actually a pretty decent starting little map, actually, from what I can see already. Apart from the fact that copper is quite a bit away, we've got a couple of iron veins quite handy. More stone veins. Got some titanium there, look. Ooh, that's worth nabbing. So we've got the logistics system. So obviously what we can do now...
You have received the sorter and the conveyor belt, which can achieve full automation now. Use the conveyor belt to transport the piled up ores from the mining machine, and the sorter can deliver the ores from the conveyor belt to the smelter for automatic smelting.
The smelter can smelt the coal. Oh, at the moment, we can't really smelt coal. We can't smelt coal into anything at the moment. We will be able to later on when we've researched the necessary research trees. So what we can do, we need to make some belts. Now I have enough stuff to make one belt. Because belts require iron and cogs. So what we're going to need to do very quickly is start making some more miners. We're going to need more miners because we're going to need more facilities. Because ideally you don't want to be doing a lot of digging things up by hand. You don't want to be doing a lot of crafting in your own mechs replicator. You kind of want to, you kind of want to automate things as much as possible. And like I say, if you've played these types of games before, if you've played Factorio, Satisfactory, any of those type of games, they're all pretty much clones of each other. You know the basics. You know what the objective is. It's to have a great big automated production facility set up where everything's done and you just stand there and watch all these gizmos and gadgets flying and whirling around and stuff gets done. And you eventually win the game if you stand there long enough watching it and looking at it. And but that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep our eye on things. So we're just going to gather up some resources and stuff. So obviously you can come in here and you can see we've got 20 conveyor belts already. We've got 5 sorters. So the game's given us some stuff to start with. Nice. What was I looking at? Logistics system. We've got the logistics system. We're going to need science for that, which we don't have. We've got smelters and glass, which requires those kind of things. We might look into getting that next. We want assembly processors. We're going to need that, so we can queue that. You can queue up your crafting stuff, your research, so you don't have to keep going into the whole keep going into the menu. Now there are obviously, you can press keyboard buttons to bring all these things, but obviously because I'm playing with a mouse and because I tend not to be sat very close to my keyboard, I tend to use I tend to click on the icons on the screen. I know some people will be in the chat will probably be in the chat going, oh, you do realize you can press this button and it does such and such. Yes, but like I say, I don't like playing with keyboard. I don't like playing games with keyboard. I would love it if this game had controller support, then I'd be very, very happy. But sadly,
when putting a conveyor belt, all you need to do is determine the starting point and the end point of it. In addition, use the up arrow key to lift up one level, and use the down arrow key to drop down one level after the conveyor belt is lifted.
I am going to be
Press
really,
key at 0 to reset the construction
really excited about in this game.
If you don't want the conveyor belt to be attached to the building, you can try holding down the shift key.
Is the whole being able to put belts on different levels. that is something I've not encountered in other games of a similar nature vein. So the great thing is as well, I do know you can click on a belt and you can just click and hold and you can take all of the materials off the belt. So if I just want to gather up a load of coal quickly for my guy to put in his fuel tank, I can do that. So if I open up my mech now, I can go click, click. Now he's got a bunch of coal. If I throw in a bunch of logs, he will burn all the logs as well. Get rid of those for me. I've got one conveyor belt left. So we need to do some more research. So I need to make some more cogs. So let's bring up the system again. I need another 10 of those. So let's make 5. And then we need another 10 of these little circuit digits. That's going to produce 10, so we need to manufacture another 5 of those. So we've got the sorter. We have a storage. Right, perfect. Not enough items. Okay, I can't make that. I need to make one of those. I'm going to guess, though, we can't make that in our person. Oh, actually, we can. I'm going to make 2 of those, because one of the things you can do in this game, if you didn't already know, you can stack storages on top of each other. So when you have one box, you can put another box on top of it. And double up how many items you can keep stored. So we've now unlocked another research. Boom. Automatic metallurgy. So we've got smelting, which enables us to produce other things. We can now produce glass as well in a smelter. But what we need now is a building. We need our storage. Now, one of the things I tend to like doing, whenever I place like a storage or a smelter or an assembly machine, I don't place it right on the edge of the belt.
You can manually store or use the sorter to automatically stock the cargo.
The reason I don't place it directly on the edge of the belt
automatically transport them as long as the supply facility and the receiving
is so that if something goes wrong in my production chain,
building the first power transmission facility, Tesla Tower.
If something goes wrong in my little production chain and I stop producing something, I can see what the belt was producing by looking at the end, because these 4 blocks of coal here won't get consumed by the sorter, won't get consumed by the storage chest. So I'll be able to walk up to this belt and go, ah, this belt had coal on it. So if there's no coal here, I know there's something gone wrong with my coal system. And later on in the when you really are getting into the production stuff, it's vitally important that you can easily spot when stuff has failed. Right, what I want to do next, I want to make a few of these, but as you can see, we are severely missing resources. So I need to come and mine some more iron. I'm just going to sit here for a while and watch old Bumblebee mining his iron. And then we'll go and do the same and get a load of coal. Not a load of coal, a load of copper. We will then get some miners set up that are going to automatically mine iron and copper for me. And get those being produced. We will then go and do some stone mining as well. we will need stone for certain elements, so we need to get a stone vein tapped with some miners as well, and getting a bit of stone being produced. The great thing about this game is you don't have to keep clicking. That's one of the things I do like. I know some people in the past have dubbed Factorio as the repetitive strain injury simulator because of the amount of clicking you have to do to harvest things and stuff. This game's great. You just right click and pretty much your little bumblebee here, he'll carry on harvesting until you tell him to do something else, or until the resource depletes or becomes devastated, as this game calls it. That's right, folks. You don't use up a resource in this game, you devastate it. I think that's a translation thing between obviously the developers of this game and the English speaking world. Anyway, we're getting quite a lot of iron ore here. I'm going to stop in a second. There we go, 120. Need to find that copper. It's a bit hard to see at night. On daytime. So here, it's over here. It's to the right. It's a bit easier to see once you've got buildings placed, because if you look on the map in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see where I've got placed buildings. It's put these little dots, blue icon for obviously the miner, and the orange dot for storage and stuff. So once you start building loads of stuff, it becomes more visible on the map where your base is. Now, something else we've not mentioned yet is that this game gives you the ability to travel to different planets, different stars, and different planets and different stars will have different resources that you will need to get your Dyson Sphere ultimately up and running. The starter planet that you land on is pretty much scripted by the game to only give you so many resources. Every starting planet pretty much is the same. Every player that starts the game will start on a similar planet in their solar system with similar materials available, which is going to teach them pretty much the basics of the game. Okay? It helps teach you the basics to start with, get into doing things simply. And then obviously, once you go to the other planets which have more, let's say expensive resources, more valuable resources, things become a little bit more challenging to mine those and harvest those and obviously get them shipped back to the planet that you originally started on. So all that sort of stuff is going to be pretty vital. Right, we've done some stuff. Right, let's bring up the fabricator again. Right, I want to make 3 of these. Why 3? Well, I want to mine iron, I want to mine copper, and I want to mine stone. So I want to produce 3 of those. Okay, I'm going to want some more of these. And these are produced in multiples of 3, so if I produce 10 of those, that will be 30. I am going to need some more of these power towers to power my miners. So I want at least another 3 of wind turbines. We are going to need some more smelters for smelting the iron, smelting the stone, and smelting the copper. I've got 1, so I only need to produce 2. So that should cover me for everything. Obviously, at this moment, we don't have storage, but that'll come in time. So, yeah, there's my big queue. I'm obviously producing. Obviously, the ultimate aim is to get a system set up where all this stuff is being produced for us by machines that are actually, you know, specialized in making this stuff and are going to be much faster at making this stuff than poor little old Bumblebee. And we will get far more efficient. Now, the good thing is, looking at this map and where I have started on this map, we seem to be I need to place something. Okay. Now, obviously, we've got the grid system and we've got these impressively big green lines that run everywhere. Now, the thick green line is supposed to indicate to me that potentially we are on the, or very close to the equator. Again, if I go to the map, flip it up on its head, there's our coal miner. Got north up there, south down here, South Pole. Yeah, we're very close to the equator of the planet already, which is obviously going to be the widest area for you to play and farm and everything. So we are armed with a miner. Well, we've got a couple of miners. So let's grab a mine. Whack him down right there. We've got Mr. Stone over there. We need to power these things. So wind turbines for all of them. And by putting the wind turbines right next to the miners like that, I don't have to worry about using the Tesla towers. As you can see, construction mode does bring up the grid of the map, which I'm sure if you've watched loads of videos already on this game from people, they will tell you that the grid does go a little bit funny as it follows the curvature of the Earth, because obviously the people who make this game don't realise that the world is flat. They think the planet's are round, you know. They also think space is real. People, they also think space is real. What crazy people. Now, I know you're thinking, well, you're not really hitting all the resources there. Yeah, I'm not really, am I? Is it worth sacrificing one resource or a couple of resources to get more nodes? We want some power. We want a Tesla. And I'm going to put it back there. Obviously, we've got more coal over here. We've got the belt system. I'm going to bring that out and then maybe bring it down. Put it close to the equator. Oh, I've got oil over here. Probably should have checked my relationship with everything else. Because ultimately what we do need to do, we need to get stuff going, I believe, that way. That's the equator, this big line here, I think. Oh, I'm running too far away. My little robots, the little drones, can only build in a certain area. So you kind of have to stick around while you're building. Eventually we will get resource. Research that increases the ability of these machines. I'm going to want a smelter, so productions are now vital. And again, Now, you can never have too much of stuff. So again, leave a couple of belts. I probably don't have any electric pylon things.
Smelter, which can smelt basic materials, such as iron ingots and copper ingots automatically. While you want to make the raw materials and products get in and out of it autonomously, you need to use sorters and conveyor belts.
I also need to build some Tesla towers. So I can actually power it. Now, another thing you'll notice, the terrain is obviously quite hilly in some places. It's not exactly flat. You can flatten the ground, which will actually give you something called soil, which you can then use to fill in oceans. Which again, if depending on your how lucky or unlucky you have been with your starting planet, right, in our smelter,
you have a building without recipe set.
We need to make a recipe.
Set the recipe you want.
We are going to make.
Selecting the recipe, you can use the less than key to copy the recipe, and the greater than key to paste the next building that needs to set the same recipe.
So there we go.
After selecting the recipe, you can use the less than key to copy the recipe, and the greater than key to paste the next building that needs to set the same recipe.
Okay, yes, we've established all of that. You can press and hold the shift key to ignore the snapping, yeah. We can also do the copying recipes, and again, won't profess to know exactly how all that really works. I think I'll just manually click on buildings and tell them what I want them to make. Ultimately, what we need to do is now go and get our iron mine and our stone mine rigged up with a similar setup. We might need to craft some more conveyor belts. Now, our poor little production factories can only hold so much resources, by the way. So we are going to need things. We have to come along and manually empty them until we get the conveyor belts installed, and we can get a load of the material then just flowing out manually. Let's have a look. Let's take that material because I need to make more belts. More belts are required. Now, what we could obviously do as well, we could have a storage facility put down, which will allow this to empty the copper onto the belt. We will have belts because obviously we're going to need to take this copper and we're going to need to put it into assembly machines. Same with the iron plates when we've got iron plates. Same with the stone once we've got the stone. Just keep emptying that for the time being. Right, let's build our belt. I don't think I'm necessarily going to build this one quite as long out of here. Now, if I get my smelter, and obviously I'm just chucking these in willy-nilly all over the place at the minute. If I want to pick them up, because I was like, you know what, I didn't mean to put that there. Just hit X and then click on them again. That gets rid of them. Now, one advantage to using placing buildings like this, you notice I'm getting soil pile. Because as I'm flattening the ground, these buildings are flattening the ground as I'm placing them. Because they're flattening the ground, I am getting the soil. So if we go and look, we have kind of leveled off the ground around our belt here, which is very useful to do. So that's one cheap way of doing it. There is a terraforming system, environment modification, which you can unlock later. It's very expensive to flatten ground like that. It's much easier to do it just by placing buildings and then removing them. So again, if we get a smelter, again, we're going to go pretty close to the building here. We're only going to have one. Are we going to have one or are we going to have two? I might put two down because we're going to need a lot of iron in the early days. Again, similar thing around the factory here. Just build that, press the button, so you can use like the F keys as well. Press the number keys to select your different build groups, and then you can just use the F keys then to select which buildings you want. Needs foundation support, so we need to build that somewhere where we're going to level a bit of ground. There's a little bit of water here actually, which is preventing me from actually leveling that area off. That will probably require terrain modification, environment modification to get rid of. Some more titanium ore. So we've got our belt. We need again our conveyors. And I'm not entirely sure yet where I'm going to go with those. Power wise, we are going to need Tesla Tower. I want to put it so it's in range, but I don't want to risk obviously, one of the things you don't want to risk doing is cutting off your ability to expand and build things. Right, we're going to need some more sorters feeding out some iron smelters. Set the recipe to produce iron plates. We require iron ore. So yeah, we can make cogs as well. So we could end up with a system where we have two belts basically running off of this. We could have iron plates being produced on one side of the little doodly wahoo, and then we could have cogs, some smelters this side producing magnets, because magnets are a huge thing in the early going of this game. You need to produce tons and tons of magnets. Now I believe we might have power issues here. Yes, we only have 25% satisfaction. We're consuming more power than we are generating, which is, well, it's bad. That's bad. Listen, no other way of saying that. If you are consuming more power than you're producing, that is bad. Now, I may have built this belt a little bit too long. But anyway, we'll take the stuff out of there. What I could do, I believe I still have another... I've got one more smelter. Here we go. I've got one more sorter. So that can go in there. Set that to produce copper as well. And there we are, folks. Already we have got copper mining, stone mining, coal mining, and iron mining. We've also got some smelting taking place automagically. And that's a great place to leave off this first episode. So thank you everybody for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you again very soon. Maybe with some more Dyson Sphere Program content. And I'll see you down the road. Bye for now, everybody. Take care. Stay safe.